Hey there, SKs, and welcome to your math lesson for today, Thursday, April 9th. Before we start math, I thought I would show you one of my favorite mugs. So what it says is GRAD. See, the D is the handle? GRAD's class of 11. That means that when I graduated high school, it was 2011, and my mom got me this awesome GRAD mug. So I wanted to share that with you. All right, so I'm gonna take a sip of coffee and let's start math. Today we're gonna start with a warm up with our 100 square, but actually you're gonna notice that today our 100 square looks a little bit different. What's different about our 100 square today? Look towards the bottom. Wait a minute. It doesn't seem to start with 1, it starts with 0, and it doesn't end at 100. It actually keeps on going till 119. So what we're going to do today is we're going to read through our 100 square like we usually do, and we're going to be counting numbers that go past 100. Okay, so let's find out where we should start counting today. I'll fly my cursor above the numbers and zzz, like a little fly. Zzz. Okay, we'll start at 73 today. And we're going to go all the way to the end of this 119 square. Are you ready? Set, go. 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119. Great job, SKs. So it might look tricky, but really it's quite easy because as soon as we get to 100, every number that comes after it, it's basically just like starting back at 1, but saying the word 100 before. So this number, it's 101. It's really just like restarting back at 1, except you're not just saying 1, 2, 3, 4 anymore. You're saying 101. So let's give another example. If I click on this number and were to ask you, what is this number? Well, you might have trouble saying what the whole number is right away, but just look at the last 2 digits. That's 15. You know that. That's 15. And there's just a 1 in front of it, which makes it 115. So instead of just saying 15, you'd say 115. And this number, you know that 1 and 9, that's 19. Now with a 1 in front of it, that makes it that it's 100. So it's 119. All right, so I am going to select some numbers, and you are going to have to find out at home what number I've selected. Are you ready? We'll start off easy. What number is this? I'll give you about 3 or 4 seconds to solve in your head, and then I'll say the answer. 9. 15. 21. 54. 67. 81. 99. 100. 104. 108. 112. 115. And last one. 119. Great job, SKs. I hope you enjoyed counting up past 100 today. Okay, we are going to be diving into our lesson of the day. Now, today we are continuing to measure with our rulers, and today we are going to be moving away from inches and focusing on the other side of the ruler. Do you remember what the other side of the ruler measures? If one side measures inches, like here on top, what does the other side measure? Do you remember? Did someone say centimeters? If you said centimeters, you are correct. Do you see the little CM at the bottom? That's the symbol for centimeters. So from this start line, that line, black line, to the 1, that space is 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter. If you don't have a ruler and you're trying to measure an object around you, one trick to measure centimeters is the width of your fingernail. So remember I showed you yesterday, when you want to measure the big part of the ruler, the inches, you can use the tip of your thumb. And if you want to measure a centimeter, which is smaller, you can use the width of your nail. So we're going to be learning all about centimeters today. And to start off, I'm going to give you an example of how one might measure an alien in centimeters. Okay, as promised, here in front of us, we have an alien. Oh my goodness. Okay, now remember, when you measure with a ruler, or really with any kind of unit of measurement, even if you're measuring with popcorn or cereal or pasta penne, there's 2 things that you absolutely have to make sure are in place before you measure. And these 2 things are making sure that your ruler or unit of measurement is side by side with your object. Side by side. Let's look at this alien. Is it side by side my ruler? No, he's on an angle. He's totally slanted on the side. So first things first, we have to get this guy straight up next to the ruler. All right, now he is perfectly side by side. Am I ready to measure? No, I'm not, because there's the second thing we have to make sure is in place before we start measuring also, which is that the bottom or the end of your object is lined up right next to the bottom or the end of your ruler or unit of measurement. So remember, we say side to side, end to end, side to side, end to end. So let's find out where the end of this ruler is on the centimeter side. All right, so I'm going to take my marker out. Do you see the bottom of the ruler right here? Well, that is not where you start measuring from. That's just where the ruler ends. But the true measurement line starts here where you see the 0. Let's erase that. Good. Okay, so the 0 line starts here, which means that is the true measure of a centimeter. If you look at the space between this 0 line and the 1, that is 1 centimeter. If you look between the 1 and the 2 line, that's another centimeter. And the 3, another centimeter. Another centimeter. Oopsies. Sorry. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. This ruler goes all the way up to 30 centimeters. So remember that when you are using your rulers at home, you're using the side of the ruler that has the small spaces in between the numbers. Oopsies, my ruler just fell on the floor. Okay, so now we are going to get our alien to the end of the 0 line so that we can actually start measuring. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this 0 line bigger so we can actually see how far the line goes, because sometimes it's a little bit tricky to see where that 0 line is. All right, now I have it. Now I'm going to keep my alien side to side, but I'm going to bring the alien down so that his foot, which is the end of him, is just there touching the 0 line. Okay, now we can check again. Is your alien side by side to the ruler? Is he standing straight? Yes. Is the alien end to end with our starting point? Yes, he is. Okay, now we can start measuring. Now, to measure something, all you have to go to is the top of your object. So in this case, it's the head. And you just want to draw a line to what point that is on the ruler. That really helps you see where an object starts and ends, drawing lines at the end and at the top. So now that I've drawn a line, I can see that that line goes right to 15. That means that my object, this little alien, is 15 centimeters long. Now, if he was a little bit taller, and if he got to this point, you'll see that this point is in between 15 and 16. So you would call that 15 and a half. But for today, I don't think we'll be dealing with many half measurements. All right. Now that we've done that little example, let's go see what we have to do for our math worksheet for today. Okay, so like yesterday, there are 2 lessons available. If you click on the SK Math for April 9th, the first version is if you do have a printer at home, and the second version is if you don't have access to a printer for today. Okay, I'm going to go through the version with printer, but this version is very, very, very similar. It just has an activity that you can do by cutting out pieces of paper and measuring them instead of measuring pictures on the lesson page. Okay, but it comes up to the same thing. The objectives are exactly the same, and the practice would be the same. All right, so let's open this one for now and see what's up. Here we have our ruler. Today we're measuring in centimeters, which is the small side of the ruler. Okay, so let me explain your activity for today. Using a ruler, measure the following objects in centimeters to find out which mirror will cover the length of the whole wall. So today, I want you guys to pretend that you are home decorators and that this is a wall in your home. Now, first things first, you have to take your ruler and measure how long this wall is in centimeters, and you would put your answer right here on the line. Next, you have to figure out how long each of these mirrors are. And then you have to determine which mirror is the one that would fit perfectly on the wall. And you're trying to find the mirror that'll cover the entire length. Okay? So you have to find out how long each mirror is and which one will cover the entire wall. And then you can circle the mirror that you think will cover the wall. When you've done that little activity, I would like you to tell me why you chose the mirror you did. So here it says, I chose this mirror because ... And I want you to tell me why you chose the mirror. And I would like to see you writing with keywords like end to end, side to side, ruler, measurement. Try to use as much math vocabulary as you can. All right. The next question is very, very similar. You are still a home decorator, but this time you want to cover this wall with a painting. So just like the first problem, you want to measure how long your wall is in centimeters and write down your answer here. Then you want to figure out which one of these paintings will cover the entire length of your wall. So you'll have to measure each of these paintings and then circle the painting that you think will fit perfectly on this wall, covering the entire length. When you're done that, just like the other problem, you will have to write why you chose that picture. I chose this picture because ... And finally, once you've finished the more topical lessons of the day, then you can move on to your activity number 4, which is math review, some subtraction addition. And then here you have some visual measuring to do. This is where you're going to need to trust your brain and your eyes to help you measure. And sometimes they will put non-standard units of measurement next to an object, and you'll have to count how long objects are using those measurements. So in this one, for example, they're asking you how many paper strips long is a TV? These are your paper strips, right? So you would maybe help yourself by putting a line at the ends of the TV and then counting the number of paper strips to find out how many paper strips long the objects are, pardon me. There we go. That's about all for the lesson today. The other lesson that involves no printer, it involves the same amount of measuring, but for this one, you would take a piece of paper and cut little strips and label them, strip A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or how many strips you want to measure. And then you guys as parents would have the answer key and you would know how long each strip was. And then you would give the strips to your child and ask them to find out how long each strip was in centimeters. And then you could check their answers with the answer key. And then like yesterday, they could put the strips in increasing order. Okay. And then the review is the same for this lesson as well. So remember, just pick one of these lessons, either the one for printer or the one for no printer today. Okay, enough blabbing from Masai. It's time for you to get started on your math. Happy math time, and I'll catch you later.